Hello, and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. On this show, I help members of the public get the very best price for their antiques and valuables. They get a choice. Sit down with one of our regular dealers. They're going to try and tempt you and offer you a cash sum on the table today.
So should we compromise and say another 10?
You are giving me such a hard time, aren't you? Difficult woman.
If I don't think that's enough money, I'm going to say to you, reject that offer. Take a gamble, put it into a local auction and hope to get a little bit more money there. Today the show comes to you from Leighton Buzzard in Bedfordshire. There's a great crowd of people here. They brought along their treasures. They want to do business. They want to sit down with our dealers and either take cash or go to auction and gamble. Either way, they want the real deal.
It's a brand new day in the dealer's den. First up, Corrie's going for gold.
Nice to meet you.
Is this your bracelet?
Yes, it is.
And where did you get it?
I bought it about 10 years ago in Germany from an antiques dealer.
And I hear by your accent you're German.
I am, yes.
Let's have a look at the bracelet. Right. There is a mark on it, and it's a 9-carat gold mark. And it's set with garnets. These are little faceted dark red garnets. And the value of it is going to be in the gold. So is there a reason you're selling it?
Yes, I haven't worn it for ages, and I've got my eye on a bronze figure that I would like to have, which would be on display, and I could look at it every day, whereas this just sits in a box and it's never been looked at, so...
Well, I think you're probably making the right decision. You've had your fun out of the bracelet, so let's see if I can put enough money down to tempt you. Right. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. I'm very nearly stopping. Nearly all the way around to you.
Well, there's a bit of space left, isn't there?
I'm actually very near my end, so I'm going to put another 10 down. So you've got 210 on the table, and I actually think that's quite a good offer.
It is a good offer, I do appreciate it, but I really would like a little bit more.
Here's David, see what he has to say.
What is on the table, Andrea?
£210.
Now the question is, can you get more by gambling and taking it to the auction? Well, if you got a mid-estimate between the 250 to 350 of about £300, and that is an if, we can't guarantee that, you would have to take off 15%, and that would be about £45. So you'd be about 250.
That is actually what I would like.
Okay. Well, what you've got to say to Corrie is, are you prepared to match that kind of figure that's in my mind? And if she's not, and she may not be wishing to do that, then you have to take the gamble and come with me to the auction, and let's see if somebody else will pay that price.
What do you think?
I'll put another 20 on the table. That's 230, and that is my maximum offer.
I think with regard what David said, that is a fair offer.
So do we have a deal?
Yes, we have a deal.
We have
Thank
a
you.
deal.
A great deal to start us off. Over at Tim's table now, Les and Jenny have got a weight on their mind.
You've brought a Baccarat paperweight in, which I believe is yours, Jenny, isn't it?
Yes, it belonged to my father.
Belonged to your father?
Yes.
And how did he acquire it?
Well, in sort of like the 1930s, he was, I suppose, a representative, what do you think? Going abroad, a buyer, of buying up things like the paperweights and...
For a China store?
Yeah, for a store based in London.
I mean, obviously, Baccarat is like one of the premier names in glass, and particularly paperweights. The paperweights are extremely desirable. And if you have a look at it, these, they look like little flowers.
The Millifiori.
Millifiori, yeah. They call them canes.
That's it.
And sometimes, you've got the 1854 one. You get little pictures in them as well. You can get, you know, like little steam trains and things like that. It has had a little bit of a bang there at some time. Did you drop it, Jenny, when you were adjusting?
Not aware of doing it, actually, no.
Tricky thing to price, really. Quite like them, I mean, they're quite saleable. Right, anyway, £50. No. £70. No. £90.
Getting closer.
Yeah.
£100.
I think he's creeping closer,
Yeah.
but very slowly.
We're down to the blue ones
Oh
now.
dear,
Oof.
dear, dear.
105.
No, I want one of the first one you put down.
I'm sure you
I want
do.
Another one on top of that, yeah.
Well, look, if I take this away and I put another 10 on the table, so we've got £110.
I think Tim has to put down another one of those 20s, but I think he has to take one of the 10s away.
So you want me to take a 10 away and put a 20 down, so you want £120?
I think that would be fair.
Well, no, this is
You're going to put that fiver back.
I'm going to put that fiver back down. 115. So have we got a deal there, Jenny?
Yes, we have to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Les. He is a hard taskmaster.
A cracking deal there for Les and Jenny. Now we're over at Debbie's table where Bob's trying to hit the right note. The Duke and auctioneer William Rouse are standing by.
Tell me what you brought into the real deal today.
The real deal, basically, is this pound note signed by Sir Edmund Hillary and Sherpa Tenzing.
Tell me about Sir Edmund Hillary.
Well, they were the first ever Everest
That's
climb.
it. I believe in 1953.
That's it.
Is it?
Absolutely. And if you look underneath the pound note, which is attached, that is the invitation to the banquet by Sherpa Tenzing and the Rani, which I've got the photograph of here. That is the Rani and that's Sherpa Tenzing.
So Rani is Sherpa Tenzing's wife?
I don't know. That's the invitation as it stands there for Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Crisp. Now, Thomas Crisp died, it must be the mid-50s, something like that, which left his wife Kathleen, which is a widow, and she became a partner with my father.
And so this is how
it came across
it
to my
came
father.
to you.
Then my father.
Oh, don't. It's obviously an emotional thing because it's a family related, has a great deal of sentimental value.
William, what we've got here is something which I think is quite unusual. How many do you think there are of two signatures together on a piece of paper or on a banknote?
I don't think there can be very many, and I think the fact that it's so important, it's a very important historical thing in the 20th century. This is one of the most significant things along with landing on the moon, isn't it? So there's a lot of collectors would be very keen to get this, I think.
What's our dealer going to say? Let's see what she puts on the table.
Now, I'm going to make you a speculative bid, and what I don't want you to do is accept it if you feel that it's going to get you more at auction. 50? $100. What do you feel about 120? Well, if I take the 20 away. And I put one more down. Oh, here comes David. 150.
Okay, £150 is down on the table. What's the chances of getting another Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing, the first man to climb the highest mountain in the world? Unless you get more money there, I'm going to say it's worth a gamble. If it doesn't sell at the auction, you've lost nothing. You still have the signatures.
Really? Thank you. Thank you.
I think that's really, really fair advice. And whilst David's disclosed now that you've had an estimate of 200 to 300, it's one of those things that's so incredibly rare, Bob, that I think it could do better than that.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Okay, thank you.
Well, best of luck at auction.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing how well it does.
So Bob's hoping the bidders won't find his reserve price of £200 too steep.
Are you sure you're doing the right thing?
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, it's here now.
Thank
Okay,
you.
here it is. The reserve's 200 quid. Is there a buyer here? Will it sell? Let's find out.
Where should we start this? Let's start at £100. £100 to go for it, for the ephemera. £100 I'm bid.
It's a rare lot, this, but it's a specialised lot.
130 I'm bid. 140, 150. You want 160, 170, 180.
It's creeping, 190.
200.
Straight to the reserve.
210 I'll take elsewhere.
It's at the reserve at 200. I thought that was mountain, maybe too high to climb.
For £200, you all done 200.
So the gavel went down to 200 quid. I sense you were a little bit disappointed, perhaps hoping for a little bit more. Take away the commission, 170. Keep that smile up. Real deal, 170 quid.
Coming up, Tim finds out first impressions can be deceptive.
Do you know, when I saw you, I thought, what a nice woman. Shows how funny you can be.
But will they be friends in the end?
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
Time is ticking in the dealer's den. Henry and Daniel saddle up for this stirrup clock.
Dan, good to see you. So what have we got here then?
To be fair, I don't really know a lot about it. It's my friend Sam's, renovating her grandma's house.
Right.
And yeah, we just found it in the back of a cabinet, heard about the show, so yeah, let's bring it along and see what it's worth, sort of thing.
Fantastic. The actual clock itself is a French porcelain and enamelled dial, okay? But I like it because there's still a lot of people around that absolutely love horses and anything pertaining to horses. I like the fact that we've got here the dial, these garlands of flowers there. They're in really nice condition.
That's what I liked as well.
Slightly faded. I think what appears to be pinkish here, I think would have been a brighter red originally.
Okay.
But obviously, as the sunlight hits it over the years, it fades it.
Yeah.
And at least the glass is intact, because quite often you find with these that the glasses get damaged on the front,
yeah.
where they're dropped, they're, banged. And the fact that this spur is holding it onto the stirrup does mean it could quite easily fall off. So, question is, what's it worth? I'll make you an offer on it.
Okay.
And see what we can do.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll start 20, 40, 50 pounds. How does that seem?
A little low.
A little low. We'll carry on. So we're at 50 at the moment.
Okay.
70, 90 pounds. How does that seem?
We're getting there.
Getting there.
Yeah.
So I think for me, my final offer to you, I'd put one of these little blue ones on there to make 95.
Okay.
Well, here's David.
Okay. Unusual object, this. So you've got your horseshoe, your stirrup and your spur, and they've been combined into this clock, probably the latter part of the 19th century, something like that. It's an oddball, quirky lot which is going to appeal to a group of people who train horses, who race horses, who hunt with horses, and they are moneyed people. And because of that, I believe in competition and auction, they will jump the fence and pay a good price.
Okay. So really, you'd like me to put a little bit more money on the table?
Yeah, maybe a bit more than a little.
Okay. So I'm going to take that £5 away. Okay. I'm going to put another 20 and another 10. So that brings us up to £120. But for me, that's as much as I want to pay you for it.
Would you like to just offer that little bit more?
I think I will, but it's not going to be a much bigger bid.
Okay.
I'm going to go another £10, 130, but that really is my final offer.
If we could put another 10 down, then we've got a deal.
I'll meet you in the middle, I'll put that other £5 on, and that is me done. Do we have a deal?
We have a deal.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
So Daniel gallops off with a great deal. We'll find out later whether Henry can turn a profit. Over with Corrie now, where she's trying to get the next deal all sewn up.
This is what they call a sampler, because it's a sample of how well this little girl could sew. So how did you come by this sampler?
It was handed down through the family, on my wife's side of the family.
Well, let's have a look at it.
Right.
So this one was done by Mary Ann Caplan, aged 9. And it's on linen, and it's embroidered in silk. So you can imagine how good a needlewoman this child was. And it was also a way of learning your lessons, because by the time you'd embroidered your alphabet and your numbers 1 to 10, you really knew them. But
if you look along here, I think you'll find the Q and the P are in the wrong position.
right, on the first line, in her first attempt, right up here, she's written LMNOQP. So she hadn't quite got the hang of her alphabet yet.
That's right.
And then you've got a lovely border separating out her lesson from her verse. And the verse is first chapter, 16th verse of Timothy from the Bible. And it says, "This is a faithful saying and worthy of all accepting, that Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners, of whom I am chief." I mean, what a burden for a 9-year-old child, chief sinner. Well, let's put some money on the table.
Right.
I'm going to start 50, 100, 120. More, he says. 140. Got 160, and I'm getting near where I see it. And we got David.
Well, there's mixed views on this. Samplers are always very interesting. I think that's a good example. Corrie Jeffries, our dealer, is a shrewd, intelligent dealer with a very good eye. You've seen her before. She puts good prices down, and you know she buys nice things. And believe you me, I think she wants to buy that.
What we've got on the table, we've got 160. Take away the 60. 150. 170. 180.
No, I think at the moment I'd probably go to auction.
How can I tempt you?
Could make it perhaps.
Right, we've got 150, 170, 180, 190. I'm there.
Okay.
Do we have a deal?
No, I think I'd rather go to auction.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank
you
very
for
much,
bringing
Gary.
it in.
Thank you.
Will the bidders at the auction room want to sample this Victorian needlework?
Will we get more here in the sale room? The estimate is 150 to 200, and there is a reserve of 150, so it's here now, over there.
There we go. Is it worth £100? 100 I'm bid for the sampler, 110 I'm bid, 120, 120 for the sampler, 130 anywhere, at £120. 130 if you like. Anybody else want to come in? At £120, no more. 120 it is.
£120. It failed that. Are you disappointed?
A little bit, but no, it's not too bad, though.
I think on the day, the real deal was with our dealer, Corrie Jeffries. Corrie, you always put in some really good bids.
Now we join Tim, where Ross is trying to pin him down for some cash.
Now, you've brought in today a seed pearl brooch.
Yes.
Is this a family piece?
It is, yes. It belonged to my grandmother. Obviously, I know it was something she treasured because it was given to her by the family she used to work for, which was the Tetley tea family.
Really?
Yeah, and when she got married, they gave it to her as a wedding present.
And what era was that?
I think it was about 1920.
1920, because it is a little bit older than 1920.
Okay.
This brooch is probably dates from about 1880, 1890.
Really?
And these seed pearls here in a crescent shape is a very, very popular Victorian, late Victorian Edwardian design. But it's definitely gold, as I can tell you it's gold. It will be sold as an item. It's
Sure.
not a piece of scrap, because obviously it's got all these pearls in it, you see. And these are, they call them split pearls or seed pearls. It's just half the pearl mounted into the brooch. Right. £50, Ross.
No, not thinking it's so old.
What about £70?
No. No.
80. What about if I took that away? £90.
No, I think another brown one would be quite nice.
What? One of those?
No.
Are you colourblind?
A red one then.
A red one.
A red one, yeah.
Well, I'll put another brown one in, because that's the colour you said. £100.
We're getting there.
Do you know, when I saw you, I thought, what a nice woman.
Shows how wrong you can be.
Yeah. 110.
No. Some more, please.
120.
What about another 20? That would be quite nice.
Really, it's not. I love it because it's an antique.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it, you know. But it's just the commercial reality of it as an item.
Sure. Okay. So should we compromise and say another 10?
You are giving me such a hard time, aren't you? Difficult woman. Look, 125, Ross.
Okay.
Have we got a deal?
Yes, we have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was like War and Peace, that, wasn't it?
Thank you.
Coming up, Henry's got ringing in his ears. But will he answer Terry's call?
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Leighton Buzzard in Bedfordshire.
Hi, Paula.
We're motoring over to Corrie's table, where Paul has brought in some highly unusual items.
Whose car did these come from? They're all from my father's. He had an old Austin 7 when I was a child. He said if I wanted them, I could keep them. So I don't want them anymore, though.
Well, let's have a look at them. So you've got, these are old AA badges, Automobile Association badges. And the interesting thing is they've got numbers. So these are your membership number. Nowadays, we have a little plastic card, don't we, with a really long number, and that's our membership number. Absolutely. In those days, you put your badge on the car, and that was your number. And interestingly enough, on this one, it says, this is the property of the Automobile Association, to be returned at the end of the membership.
Oops.
So, obviously, these had a value. You've got the 3 badges, and these interesting desks. Do you know what they're for?
I'm not sure, but I did wonder whether they were either from the wartime when you had to dim down the lights, or whether they were before they had amber glass with fog lights and maybe put them over the headlights of the car just to help filter through fog.
Well, either explanation is very sensible, but I actually do think these are war ones.
Wow.
I think these are blackout. And these are little motoring goggles.
Yes.
So things have changed, haven't they? Times have really changed.
Yeah.
Well, you brought them along today to sell. Mm-hmm. So do you have anything in mind to do with the money?
Yes. Because they were my father's and he now lives in a home and is no longer mobile, I'd love to hire one of those special taxis that take wheelchairs and perhaps go out for a cream tea together.
Let's put some money on the table and see how far we get. Well, let's put 20, 40, 50. 50 on the table.
You can go a little bit more.
That really is it, 55 on the table. So the decision is yours.
I think there's enough there for a cream tea.
Do you reckon there's enough there?
I do.
So we have a deal,
And a
do we?
taxi. We do. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Paula and her dad are sure to enjoy their cream tea. Now, Debbie's been joined by Sue and a very special book.
Sue, thanks so much for coming on the show and bringing this extraordinary book with you.
No problem.
Tell me about, before we even open it, tell me about how you came across it.
Well, it was passed through my family, as I say, my father's stepmother, and they were all into printing and ribbon finishing and silk screening and this sort of thing.
So if we open it up to the first page, it says to Harold, is it Straker Thompson?
Or Stracker, I don't know how you pronounce it really.
In memory of his father, Frederick William Johnson, from his uncle Albert.
No, Thompson, if I could
Is
correct
it Thompson?
you. Yeah, sorry.
Thompson, from
Thompson.
his uncle Albert Thompson.
That's correct.
September the 25th, 1891.
Yes.
And it says Essays and Lectures by J.W., 1856. And inside is a little portrait of what looks like quite a young gentleman.
Yeah, which I believe is the author of the book. Yes.
Okay, and
yeah.
it's a charming watercolour.
It certainly is.
Of him. And then in the back, I believe, there are watercolour illustrations of various kinds.
There certainly are, of skulls and eyeballs and various weird and wonderful things, yeah.
Yeah, so if I just gently have a flick through, again, it's very fragile, so it is an extraordinary book. So,
it certainly is. Quite
I would
intriguing.
Like to, yeah, it is. So I would like to make you an offer.
Okay.
£50.
No.
70. Right, I'm going to say 90. How do you feel about that?
No, still.
I jumped in here at this stage because I think this is a speculative item, a very interesting thing.
Most definitely.
Now, our independent valuers say 80 to 120.
Yes.
I just feel there's nothing wrong with the offer on the table at 90 quid, but I think it probably is worth a gamble. You might just turn up quite a good collector for something like this.
Yeah.
I think that's worth taking the gamble with.
The dilemma that I have is I'd really like to take it home. I'm going to offer another 20.
No, I think I'd like a little bit more.
How about I put another 10?
I think really, you know, we're probably looking at somewhere in the region of about 250, quite honestly.
Ooh. I'll put another 20 down and take that 10 away. And I think I'm out. And if you seriously feel that it might do better at auction, which it could well do, because it's so unusual,
Yes.
then Sue, I'd take it to auction.
Yeah, I think I will actually. I think I'll go to auction with it.
I don't think that's unwise,
No.
and all the best.
Okay,
Have
lovely
you-
to have met you.
You too.
Thank you.
Reading between the lines, it looks like Sue wants to go to auction.
How lucky do you feel today? We're scanning the room, it's packed, there's a lot of people here. Are the right people here for your book? That's what we use.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. It's coming up now. The estimation is 80 to 120. That means it could sell for as little as 80 and still a 15% commission could be taken off. So you need to get over the 130 to do as well as the money you were offered on the dealer's day.
I certainly do.
45. The Essays and Lectures of F.W. Thompson. And I'm glad to say we have got a little bit of interest to start.
There's interest with the auction here, that's good news.
Here at £110.
Rated at 110, that's a good start.
On the book, 110. 120, 130 with me still. Are you sure? £130 then, it's a nice thing. 130 all done, nobody else? 130 is the bid, 130. 130.
It made £130 here in the sale room. Take away the commission, 110. So you're going away with a little bit less. What do you think now?
Oh, well, I've had a lovely day. It's been fun coming and fun meeting you, so...
Okay. On the day, I'm going to award the real deal to our dealer, Debbie. You were right on the money, girl. That was the real deal.
We're getting a courtesy call to Henry's table now, where he's joined by Terry.
Terry, lovely to see you. Well, look at this. What have you brought along to show me today?
It's an old telephone, Bakelite, I think.
It is, indeed. And what do you know about it?
Well, I ran a pub and it was left in the pub.
Right. Was it, obviously it wasn't working?
No, it's never been working, no. It's just like that.
Fantastic. Well, what we've actually got here is we've got a Bakelite telephone from the early 1960s, maybe late 50s, but more likely early 1960s.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about it is that it's one of the rarest colours that you can get, okay? It's the lovely, lovely thing. What I like about it, the overall shape of it, it's quite tactile really, and I love this little tray at the front here.
Yeah.
And we've got here this really lovely...
Original bits, isn't it?
Original interior here with all the different exchange numbers for in the good old days when the telephones all had exchanges. That's the nice part about it. But the real problem that we have is the fact that the receiver itself has got some really bad damage.
Yeah.
Not only on that end, but also on this end as well. We've got some cracking just down here. The extent of the damage we've got here and all the cracking, big chunks missing, that really, really does take the edge off it, really. We'll have a go. So, where are we going to start? Okay. 20. £30.
No.
No, that was a very firm no.
It's a definite no.
Okay. What I'll do, I'll take this 10 back and we'll try you at 40.
No.
Okay. I'm really trying very hard. Okay, I'm going to put that 10 back in to make £50. I think that's going to be my final offer. So, how do you think? How do you feel about that?
No.
So you think you'll put it into auction?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Terry, thank you. Best of luck. Thank you. Good to see you.
Terry's left Henry hanging on the line. I thought you were a smooth operator, Henry.
Terry brought along a 1930s green Bakelite telephone. She can't make it today. I'm looking after her interests. It's here now. Is it going to make more than 50 quid?
110 with me. Still a left bid of £110.
110 quid? Blimey. She's going to be pleased.
Then I'm going to sell it 110.
OK, that green telephone that was left behind in a pub, that she used to run just made 110 quid. We've got to take away some commission. It's just over 90 quid, about 94 quid I'm going to be sending off to her. The telephone, the green one, the 1930s, just got 94 quid and we're sending it to you. That was the real deal.
Hi, Pam.
Hi there. After the break, Pam's selling a gift from her mother.
Very nice. yeah. She's very generous, your mum, isn't she?
She is.
But will Tim be as generous with his offer?
That's good as that. Don't say no.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal. We're over at Tim's table now, where he's linked up with Pam.
Now, you've brought a bracelet along today. Can you tell me a little bit about where you acquired it from?
My mum gave it to me. She bought it in Italy because she's Italian, and she bought it about 60 years ago in Italy.
And do you never wear it then, Pam?
I've worn it a couple of times, but I prefer another one that my mum's given to me instead, which I'm wearing today.
All right, let's have a look at the other one as well. Oh, very nice. yeah. She's very generous, your mum, isn't she?
She is.
So let's have a look at this. Quite pretty, that sort of like open link design.
Yes.
And if we... It's got an 18 carat mark, which is 750, which means that 750 points of that is pure gold.
Yes.
The problem with a bracelet like this is that it's probably outweighing itself in gold value as opposed to an item of jewellery. It's not old enough to fall into the category of antique jewellery.
Yes.
So it really all goes on its weight. Now, how do you feel about that, Pam? Do you feel a bit...
It's a bit sad because it has got a nice design, and I would have thought a lady would probably like to wear that.
Yeah. They might do. It might have a small, you know, sort of little bit above scrap, but it won't be a great deal above the scrap price.
Okay.
So you've got 35.6 grams of 18 carat gold in there. So I'm going to make you an offer.
Okay.
And 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500, 550, 600, 650, 700 pounds.
I think I need a little bit more than that.
700 pounds there, Pam.
I know.
Today, that will scrap at £750. I'm not saying that it is an item that should be scrapped. It is decorative and quality enough to retail and to sell on as a piece of jewellery. And then remember, if you go to auction, it is more dangerous because of the deduction of commission, unless you get a private buyer who's buying it only as a user. If you get a trade buyer, they will be weighing it.
Thank you, David.
It will only be a very small amount. 720, and that is it.
Okay, you've got yourself a deal.
Thank you very much, Pam.
Thank you very much.
And what are you going to spend 720 lovely pounds on?
I might treat my mum, since it was my mum that gave me the bracelet,
Right.
so maybe
And
a
do you
nice day
want
to
to sell the other
spa. Not today.
Not today. Well, you know where I am.
I do, thank you.
Thank you.
So Pam and her mum are off to the spa. Let's find out how our dealers have been spending their time. Corrie's motoring memorabilia isn't selling fast. She's only managed to sell the goggles for £25. She did manage to sell Audrey's bracelet for £255.
Great. Oh, wonderful to hear.
Meanwhile, Henry sold the stirrup clock for £150. So Tim's our dealer of the day. He's not moved the paperweight on, but he sold the brooch for £140.
You are giving me such a hard time, aren't you? Difficult woman.
And he scrapped Pam's bracelet for £770.
Well, you know where I am.
It's been an interesting day in the sale room this time. There's been some good buys and there's been not such good buys. But that's the way it goes when you go to auction. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. Bye for now.